Hello students, this is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shidlagatta. Today we have to start another one very important and fresh chapter, history, the extension of the British rule, chapter 2nd of history, 10th standard. So once again, my heartful thanks to STF Digital Group. They prepared such a wonderful PPTs. These PPTs are very useful for even for the teachers and even for the students also. My heartful thanks once again to them. Let's see, dear students, history chapter 2, the extension of the British rule. History chapter 2, the extension of the British rule. What is the meaning of here? Extension. It means the action of becoming a larger, extending, ವಿಸ್ತರಣೆ. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪಾಲಿಸಿಗಳನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ವಿಸ್ತರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಎಂಬುದು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದ ಅರ್ಥ. ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ rule. In this chapter, from the lesson, the extension of the British rule, in this following chapter, we have to learn some of the important following aspects like Anglo-Maratha wars. First lesson, we already learned about Carnatic wars. So like here, Anglo-Maratha wars between the Marathas and the Britishers. Then the consolidation of the British power. So Britishers are using their power to integration of our Indian country. Got it? Britishers are main intention to control so many states of our Indian country and unite them. ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಧೀನಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೋಬೇಕು. One by one, all the places. Got it? So like that, the consolidation of the British power. No succession rights for the adopted children. Got it? Here mainly Britishers are implemented one of the important policy like doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse policy. Under this policy, if any Indian kings not have a children means that kingdom directly lapsed by the Britishers and there is no legal right for the adopted children. That also we have to learn from the lesson, the extension of the British rule. Next, subsidiary alliance. It is one of the important agreement between the East India Company and Indian kings. It is one of the important agreement between the East India Company and the Indian kings. How like the subsidiary alliance implemented? Then what are the conditions of the subsidiary alliance? Then after the implementation of subsidiary alliance, at what type of effects on the Indians. So such that we have to learn information from the topic subsidiary alliance. Next, Anglo-Sikh wars. Even South India Marathas against for the Britishers. Once goes to the North India, Ranjit Singh, he unite for the all the Sikhs and against for the Britishers. So like Anglo-Sikh wars. This happened after the death of Ranjit Singh. So that is the Anglo-Sikh wars. Two Anglo-Sikh wars are available. So I hope you understood, dear students. Already said in this following chapter we have to learn some of the important following aspects like Anglo-Maratha wars, the consolidation of the British power, no succession right for the adopted children, subsidiary alliance system, Anglo-Sikh wars. Let's come to the lesson. See, through the Carnatic wars, it means 3 Carnatic wars already completed now. In these 3 Carnatic wars fought between the British and the French. So through the Carnatic wars, what English had made other European countries not challenge them India. Who are the other European countries like means Portuguese, Dutch, French. So through the Carnatic wars, English had made the other European countries not to challenge them India means no need to compete India. Got it? There is a toughest competition already given by Britishers to Portuguese, French and Dutch. So this after the Carnatic Wars, then they gained complete political control through the power, through the administration, through the power and through the administration. They gained complete political control over Bengal, over Bengal. Bengal is very very important. Over Bengal through the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. I already said no, Battle of Plassey, reasons and results, and then Battle of Buxar, reasons and results. So through the Carnatic Wars, then Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, they gained most of the control, few parts of our Indian country, and they made three important residencies. Got it? One is Mumbai, another one is Madras, and another one is Kolkata. So mainly the first control for the Bengal through the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. So look at there. Mainly this is one of the important place of Bengal. By the 1765, got it? They had gained control of the eastern parts of India. So only for the eastern part, but not for the western part. By the 1765, so this is eastern part of our Indian country. They gained most of the control for the eastern part of our Indian country. So since the Marathas and Mysore states were dominant in southern and western part of India, so they controlled only for the eastern part, few parts of our Indian country. Once they come to the western part, there are strong opponents are there. So Mysore kings and for the Marathas, they were the dominant in southern and western part of our Indian country. They have two tough Britishers, got it? While seeing for the Marathas and while seeing for the Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali, they getting so much of fear. So that is, since the Marathas and Mysore states were dominant in south and western part of India. Got it? So the hold of British was restricted to Bengal and Bombay regions only. Because of the reason, south and southwest, mainly Marathas and Tipu Sultan, then Hyderabad, opposing and controlling. But their power limited only to Bengal and only limited to Mumbai, but not for the south and southwestern parts of our Indian country. So going on in our Indian country. After the 1765, they control some of the eastern parts, but once come for the southwest, there is a strong opponents are there, and that is why their power restricts only for the Bengal province and the Mumbai province. See dear students, Bengal and the Mumbai provinces like. So here Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore. Look at there, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. They were strong opponents of the Britishers. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, strong opponents of the Britishers, southern part. Then Marathas were only impediments in the path of expansion for their British. Got it? Mainly, you should keep in your mind, Marathas given strong force, strong opposed to the Britishers. But it is along with the Peshwas. So that you should be keeping in your mind, south and southwestern part. Along with the Peshwas, Marathas were the only impediments in the path of expansion of the British. Got it? Impediments ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ವಿಸ್ತರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೈದರ್ ಅಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರಿಗೆ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಕಡೆ ಮರಾಠರು ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪೇಶ್ವಾಸ್ ಅವರು ಸಹ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇಂಪೆಡಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. Then the others were 6 in northwestern region. So south over, southwest over, the opponents of the Britishers. Then once come for the northwestern region, there is a Ranjit Singh who emerged in the later part of 19th century. So Ranjit Singh belongs to the northwestern part of our Indian country. He was a strong, formidable opponent to the British. Got it? Formidable means terror. ಅವನ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಭಯ ನಡುಗುತ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು. ಸೊ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಂಜಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ರಂಜಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ he was a best opponent for the Britishers. Good. See, he was successful in organizing the Sikhs. Got it? Make arrangements with all the Sikhs, and he tried unite for all the Sikhs and Sikhs leaders of northwestern part of our Indian country. Got it? So this credit goes to Ranjit Singh. Southern part Tipu Sultan and Hyderabad, southwestern part Marathas and Peshwas, northwestern part Ranjit Singh. They were the strong opponents of the Britishers. That is why here most of the wars fought between Tipu Sultan and Hyderabad. So it is a 4 Anglo-Mysore wars. Got it? And between the Marathas and the Britishers, 3 Anglo-Maratha wars. Between the Sikhs and the Britishers, 2 Anglo-Sikh wars. So this is the northwestern part of our Indian country. He was we should consider for the Ranjit Singh. So like dear students, see, he was the organizing of the Sikhs. It means uniting for the Sikhs like. Then here strong opponents. Sorry for that. Here the Britishers are strong opponents. What did here? British also waged repeated is nothing but Britishers also did so many wars. Here Tipu Sultan and Hyderabad also did a wars. So like here Britishers also did a war. From the mid of 18th century to mid of 19th century, Britishers extended their empire in India overall 100 years. Mid of the 18th century to mid of the 19th century. More than 100 years Britishers expand their empire in our Indian country. See, apart from this, they also annexed various kingdoms with cunning policies. So wars, leave it one side. Wars, leave it one side. Apart from the wars, Britishers are implemented some of the important cunning policies. ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳು, ಮೋಸಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Got it? Apart from this, they also annexed various kingdoms with the cunning policies. Then at what type of cunning policies? One is the subsidiary alliance. I already explained about for the subsidiary alliance, and another one is the doctrine of lapse. The one is the subsidiary alliance, another one is the doctrine of lapse. These are the 2 important cunning policies are Britishers implemented in our Indian country. Got it? Then this period the Britishers are waged so many wars. I already said 3 Anglo-Maratha wars between the Marathas and Britishers, 4 Anglo-Mysore wars between the British, then next Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali, then 2 Anglo-Sikh wars between the British and the Sikhs. So like apart, these are the battles. Apart from these battles, they used some of the important cunning policies also. Now let's, in this lesson we have to particularly understand Anglo-Maratha wars and Anglo-Sikh wars. Anglo-Maratha wars and Anglo-Sikh wars. And Anglo-Mysore wars, we have to learn 4th chapter, opposition to British rule in Karnataka, that lesson. See, there are Anglo-Maratha wars. The first Anglo-Maratha war, 1775 to 1782. The first Anglo-Maratha war, 1775 to 1782. Reasons for the first Anglo-Maratha war. See, Marathas installed Shah Alam II, got it, on the throne of Mughal Empire in Delhi. You are remembering for the Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II, actually he was under the control of Britishers. Shah Alam II, he was under the control of Britishers as a king. But here Marathas did a mistake. Marathas instilled got it? They have one idea, ಮರಾಠರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಶಾ ಆಲಂ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ನ ಮೊಘಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ದೆಹಲಿಗೆ ರಾಜನನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಶಾ ಆಲಂ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್. Shah Alam II was under the care of British after the defeat in Buxar War. You know, Mir Qasim escaped from the battlefield, then after killed him, got it? But the Britishers are taking care about for the Shah Alam II. So here Shah Alam II under the control of Britishers. So such a Shah Alam II, while he under the control of Britishers, so such a critical situation, the Marathas made he was the king of Mughal Empire, especially for the Delhi. So now the emperor gave, who was the emperor means Shah Alam II. ಯಾವಾಗ ಮರಾಠರು ಶಾ ಆಲಂ ಸೆಕೆಂಡನ್ನು ದೆಹಲಿಯ ಸಿಂಹಾಸನಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಜನನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ದ ಎಂಪರರ್ ಗೇವ್ ಕೋರಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲಹಾಬಾದ್ ಟು ದ ಮರಾಠಾಸ್. Kora and Allahabad to the Marathas. You look at once a map means there is a first dot Kora and second red dot Allahabad. These two places he gifted to the Marathas. But here see, this resulted in the enmity between Marathas and British. When Kora and Allahabad he gave to the Marathas. So this resulted between the enmity between the British and the Marathas. Because of the reason, this Kora and Allahabad, these two places actually after the battle of Buxar, Shah Alam II gifted to the Britishers. So like, see here, in this period, and those are the main reasons. Then after, and the same period, the death of Maratha strongman Madhavrao Peshwa, a major setback to the Marathas. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮರಾಠರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾಧವರಾವ್ ಡೈಡ್. got it? Why I am saying that is a critical situation means Marathas installed Shah Alam II as the king of the Delhi, and enmity started between the between the Marathas and the British. So on that time only Maratha strongman Madhavrao Peshwa he was died. So that is a strong setback to the Marathas. Why here a strong setback to the Marathas means Madhavrao II was such a important Peshwa. When he was died, this is best of the hindrance to the Marathas. ಅಂದರೆ ಮರಾಠರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿನ್ನಡೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, setback. Hence, his brother Narayan Rao came to power. Whose brother? Madhavrao Peshwa. Madhavrao brother Narayan Rao came to power. But when he came to power, he was murdered by his uncle Raghoba. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೋ ಮಾಧವರಾವ್ ಪೇಶ್ವನ ಬ್ರದರು ನಾರಾಯಣ ರಾವ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೋ ಆವಾಗ ಅವನ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ರಾಘೋಬ ಅಥವಾ ರಘುನಾಥ್ ರಾವ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾರಾಯಣ ರಾವನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಸಹ ಮೊದಲ ಆಂಗ್ಲೋ ಮರಾಠ ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಕಾರಣಗಳು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, this resulted in the fighting for the Peshwa post. Here Madhavrao Peshwa died and Narayan Ram came to power. Narayan Rao also he was dead because Raghoba killed to Narayan Rao. Now there is a toughest competition for the Peshwa post, especially in the Maratha kingdom. So at that time Maratha Federation means a group of people, those who were elders, leaders available for India, Maratha Federation, they brought Madhavrao II of Narayan Rao. ಈ ನಾರಾಯಣ ರಾವ್ನ ಮಗನಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾಧವರಾವ್ II ಪೇಶ್ವಾ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. got it? Here ರಾಘೋಬ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ರಾಘೋಬ ನಾರಾಯಣರಾವ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ವಾ, ಓ ನಾನೇ ರಾಜ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅವನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್. Maratha Federation brought Madhavraj II of the Narayan Rao to the post of Peshwa. So hence Raghoba goes to the depression. So upset ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ತುಂಬ ಡಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. Upset with this development, Raghoba approached the British for support. ಇವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ ಸಹಾಯವನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ರಾಜ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದಿದ್ದೆ, ಮರಾಠಾ ಫೆಡರೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಾಧವರಾವ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡನ್ನು ರಾಜನನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ನಾನು ರಾಜ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಾಘೋಬ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ಡ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಕನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್, the British thought they exploiting the situation in their favor. They are eagerly waiting. Already enmity started between the Marathas and the British, but they waiting for the situation. Now the situation being came into existence. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಸಮಯ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈ ರಾಘೋಬ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, these all are the reasons for Anglo-Maratha wars, and the first Anglo-Maratha wars waged from 1775 to 1782 between the Marathas and British. 1775 to 1782, the first Anglo-Maratha war led between the Marathas and the British. Initially, the Marathas gained upper hand. Initially, got it? ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮರಾಠರು ಮೇಲುಗೈಯನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಮೇಲುಗೈಯನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರುವಷ್ಟು ಪವರು ಮರಾಠರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸೈಡ್. Now, the effects of the first Anglo-Maratha war. So, before what I said, all reasons for the first Anglo-Maratha war. Then now, effects, outcomes, results, impacts, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಹ ಒಂದೇ. Effects means also same, results means also same, impacts means also same, outcomes means also same. Then what were the outcomes of the first Anglo-Maratha war? Got it? Here see, they had lost the Allahabad to the Britishers after the first Anglo-Mysore war, the strong force of the Britishers. Here the Marathas lost the place. Ahmedabad ಎಂಬ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳವನ್ನು ಮರಾಠರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಅಲಹಾಬಾದ್ ಟು ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಮರಾಠಾ ಫೆಡರೇಷನ್ unable to sustain the war with the British. Sustain the war with the British. Highly impossible. ಯುದ್ಧವನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಜಯಿಸಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮರಾಠರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಸ್ಟೈನ್, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. got it? And the Marathas are suffer under the control of Britishers. Marathas are suffer under the control of Britishers because of the reason few Maratha leaders already gave support to the Britishers. The Maratha Federation unable to sustain the war with the British. Hence, finally, they entered Salbai Agreement and ended the war. So finally, they entered the Salbai Agreement. So this is one of the important agreement between the British and the Marathas. So which war ended the first Anglo-Maratha war means Salbai Agreement. Then Madhavrao II was named as the Peshwa. So after the first Anglo-Mysore war, Madhavrao II was named as the Peshwa. So this you should be keep in your mind. What were the reasons and results of the first Anglo-Maratha war? So like. Then dear students, Lord Wellesley, already said no, subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Here, subsidiary alliance implemented by Lord Wellesley in the year of 1798. It is an agreement between Indian kings and British East India Company. Let's gather in detail information about subsidiary alliance. Here, The expansion of the British Empire took larger pace after the arrival of Lord Wellesley. So, before the arrival of Lord Wellesley, the expansion of the British Empire only for the limit. Only for the limit. There is no more expansion. But after the arrival of Lord Wellesley as the Governor General of India, he implemented some of the important cunning policies. ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Got it? So such a cunning policies purpose, step by step, the expansion their kingdom throughout the Indian country. They occupied for so many places belongs to India. They are available for domination. They controlled for the so many states and in the Indian kings also. So this all credit goes to Lord Wellesley. See, by this time, the powerful states of Marathas and Mysore had become weak in the expansion of the easier. Got it? Already told now, see, after the first Anglo-Maratha war, when he tried to expand their kingdom by implementation of the subsidiary alliance, and that time only Mysore kingdom become a weak, even the Marathas also become a weak. So it is the situation is very favor to the Britishers. They easily expanded their kingdom. So Lord Wellesley followed three policies. Lord Wellesley followed three policies to expand the British Empire in India. Good. Which are the three policies followed by Lord Wellesley to expand the British Empire in India? This is a 2-mark, very important question. Which are the three policies followed by Lord Wellesley to expand their British Empire in India? So such a important policies are, the first one is subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance, it is one of the important agreement between the Indian kings and British East India Company. Subsidiary alliance. Now I have to go to explain for that. Another one, waging wars against the new states. ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಆದರೆ ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟಾಗಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೇಜಿಂಗ್ ವಾರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ and administering the state directly, and they doing direct administration. They doing for the direct administration. So dear students, these are the three important policies implemented by Lord Wellesley to expansion of British Empire in India. So this you should be properly keep in your mind. Then subsidiary alliance. What is the meaning of your subsidiary alliance and who implemented the? I already said. See, Lord Wellesley brought this policy. Got it? Effect in 1798. Who implemented the subsidiary alliance means Lord Wellesley. When means 1798. Why he implemented this policy means in order to bring the Indian states under the control, because so many Indian states selfly ruled by Indian kings only. Selfly ruled by well, dear students, subsidiary alliance implemented by Lord Wellesley in the year of 1798. Why he implemented this policy means in order to bring the Indian states under the control, under their control. So this is the main ambition. This is a 1-mark question. Why Lord Wellesley implemented subsidiary alliance system in the year of 1798 in effect means because in order to bring the Indian states under control. This is the main reason. So here subsidiary alliance, this was a basically military protection agreement. This was a basically military protection agreement. What is the meaning of your military protection agreement? Means promise to support each other. Promise to each other. It means ಭಾರತದ ರಾಜರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಸೈನ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಸಹ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Then providing residential facility for the British soldiers also, even for the Indian soldiers also. So like this was a basically military protection agreement between the East India Company. So that is the British East India Company and the Indian state. What is the meaning of subsidiary alliance means? Subsidiary alliance means this was basically military protection agreement between the East India Company and the Indian state. Let's see the at what type of conditions available for in the subsidiary alliance. What it? The first one is Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. What it? Most of the British army maintained by Indian kings only. This is the first condition. Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. For example, Tipu Sultan belongs to Karnataka ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸೈನ್ಯವನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡರಿ ಅಲಯನ್ಸ್. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ದ British army in his kingdom. Then the second one, very important. The second one is the concerned state had bear the expense of the army and the wages of the soldiers and also had to give certain revenue land as well as. So all the responsibility ಅವರ ಸೈನ್ಯವನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ what it? The expenses of the army, wages of the soldiers, what it? They have to pay even residential facility, health facility, and even for providing revenue land also, all have to provide to the British soldiers. So this is the second condition of the subsidiary alliance system. Then third condition, the king has to have a British resident in his court. Mainly, look at here, British resident means one who resides in a court from British person. What it? ಟಿಪ್ಪು ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಲ್ವಾ, ಸೈನ್ಯವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಯನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೇಮಕಾತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಗೋಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿಲ್ವೋ, ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿಲ್ವೋ, ಊಟ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ವೋ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. Then the fourth condition, the king could not appoint any other European without the permission of British. So Britishers are here gained for the upper hand after the Carnatic Wars and first Anglo-Maratha War, then Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxa. So under this subsidiary alliance agreement, the king could not appoint any other European. Any other Europeans means whether Portuguese, whether Dutch, whether French, like must and should take the permission of Britishers. This is the fourth condition. The king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. Then condition number 5, in order to enter any agreement or pact, agreement means also same, pact means also same, with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. Who's the Governor General? Lord Wellesley. That time Governor General no must and should, if Indian kings entered any kind of agreement with Indian government means must and should Indians kings have to take permission of the Governor General. So mandatory, compulsory. See, such a worst situation, such a crucial situation in our Indian country. This is the fifth condition. Then condition number 6, in return of all these services, in return of all these services, ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಸರ್ವಿಸಸನ್ನು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಗುಡ್. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಗುಡ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹಾಕ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್, ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವುಡ್ ಆಫರ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎನಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆರ್ external aggression, any internal or external aggression. In case inner side of our Indian country, the Indian kings have facing any problems means British army supporting to us. In case outside side of our Indian country, any enemies attack to India means the Britishers are give support to us. So this is one of the important agreement. Got it? So this is the sixth condition. In return of all these services, The company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. So this is the condition number 6. These are the conditions of the subsidiary alliance. Then after the conditions, some of the important effects. Effects of the subsidiary alliance. This is also a 3-mark question. What are the effects of the subsidiary alliance and what are the conditions of the subsidiary alliance? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡರಿ ಅಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ. The British could place Indian states under their control through this policy. Through the subsidiary alliance system, got it? Britishers are controlled so many states of our Indian country. This is the first effect. The maintenance of the army very easy to the Britishers. Why means the Britishers army maintained by Indian kings but not for the Britishers. That is why the maintenance of the army became easy to the Britishers but not for the Indian kings. You should be keep in your mind. This is the second effect. The Indian states were subjected severe economic exploitation. Subjected severe economic exploitation. They have to face it. Subjected means they have to face some of the important economic exploitation. Agriculture become a weak. There is a most of the domination. The labors going on the domination. Most of the people become a very landless people. They moving from one place to another place in search of work. So such a economic exploitation available for after the implementation of subsidiary alliance. This is one of the important effect. Then the Hyderabad state was the first state to enter this agreement. Which state means Hyderabad state. Which state was the first to enter the subsidiary alliance agreement means Hyderabad state. This is 1 mark, very important question. So later, first enter for the Hyderabad state. Later, few of states entered to the subsidiary alliance system. Subsidiary alliance system. See, such a states are, one is Mysore state entered to the subsidiary alliance system. Even Audh state also entered the subsidiary alliance system. Tanjavur also entered the subsidiary alliance system. Next, Pune, this is also entered. Berar, it means Bidar nowadays. Arcot also entered. Then Gwalior. So in these all places entered to the subsidiary alliance agreement. These are the effects of the subsidiary alliance system. Conditions separate and the effects are separate. Then dear students, after the conditions of the subsidiary alliance system, then after the effects of subsidiary alliance system, another one very important, Second Anglo-Maratha War. Second Anglo-Maratha War. Now we have to learn what are the reasons for Second Anglo-Maratha War. What are the reasons for Second Anglo-Maratha War and results of the Second Anglo-Maratha War. So here, Second Anglo-Maratha War, 1803 to 1805. 1803 to 1805. And what is the immediate reason for the Second Anglo-Maratha War means differences among the Maratha chieftains was the main reason. Differences, variations, ಮರಾಠರ ಒಂದು ಪೇಶ್ವಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೈನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಂಗ್ಲೋ ಮರಾಠ ವಾರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಎನಿಮಿಟಿ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್, ಶತ್ರುತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಶವಂತರಾವ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೋಳ್ಕರ್, ಯಶವಂತರಾವ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೋಳ್ಕರ್, ದೌಲತ್ ರಾವ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಂಧಿಯಾ, ಪೇಶ್ವಾ ಬಾಲಾಜಿರಾವ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎನಿಮಿಟಿ, ಏನು ಎನಿಮಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದ್ವೇಷ, enmity between the group of people. Got it? So like differences being came into existence between the Maratha chieftains. Who are the Maratha important chieftains means Yashwantrao of Holkar, Daulat Rao of Scindia and Peshwa Balaji Rao II. Then what happened after that? Got it? So these all become the reasons for Anglo-Maratha war. See, in 1802, the army of Holkar defeated to the army of Scindia and Peshwa. So there were three Maratha chieftains there, no? Holkaru, Scindia, Peshwa. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಳ್ಕರ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸಿಂಧಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೇಶ್ವಾನ ಸೋಲಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸಿಂಧಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೇಶ್ವನ್ನ ಸೋಲಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. Then the Peshwa appealed for the help from the British. So on that time only, Peshwa requested to the British for the support of Peshwa. They requested to the British for the support of Peshwa. Lord Wellesley finally got an opportunity to meddle with the affairs of Marathas. Meddle ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾದ ವಿವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ವಾದಗಳಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವೆಲ್ಲೆಸ್ಲಿ ಈಗರ್ಲಿ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್. ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವೆಲ್ಲೆಸ್ಲಿ ಫೈನಲಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಮೆಡಲ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮರಾಠಾಸ್. The Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance system. This is the main reason Britishers when try to give support to the Peshwa, Peshwa easily accepted the subsidiary alliance system by the Treaty of Bessin. By the Treaty of Bessin. Subsidiary alliance system ಅಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಫುಲ್ ಯಾರ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವರ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So this credit goes to Holkar only because Holkar defeated the Scindia and Peshwa. That is why Peshwa appealed the help of Britishers. Lord Wellesley meddled with these affairs. Then Peshwa entered to the subsidiary alliance by accepting the Treaty of Bessin. Other Maratha families like Holkar. So dear students, and Lord Wellesley defeated the armies of various Maratha families 1803 to 1805. So when Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance, got it? Here Lord Wellesley gave support to the Peshwa, and Lord Wellesley easily defeated to the various Maratha families, including for the Holkar also. Got it? These are the reasons for the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Already said to you people, differences among the Maratha chieftains like Holkaru, Scindia, Peshwa. Holkar defeated to the Scindia and Peshwa. So Peshwa appealed to the support of British. Peshwa accepted the subsidiary alliance and entered to the Treaty of Bessin. Then Lord Wellesley fought against for the Maratha families, including for the Holkar, easily defeated. So these are the reasons for the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Then effects increased the financial burden on the company. See, always here Lord Wellesley doing wars, ಯುದ್ಧಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. That is why financially got it become a weak. ಯಾರೋ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ increased the financial burden on the company. Then Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. This is also effect of the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Increased the financial burden on the British East India Company. This was the reason purpose Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. This resulted in peace in this region. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ಗೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾನೋ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಹಲವಾರು ಜನರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ವೈ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವೆಲ್ಲೆಸ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೈನ್ಡ್ ಹೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್ ದ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ. ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. So dear students, these we should consider for the effects of the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Well students, I hope you understood first Anglo-Maratha War reasons and results, then subsidiary alliance system, then second Anglo-Maratha War reasons and results. Okay students, next session we have to gather in detail information about third Anglo-Maratha War reasons and results, the consolidation of the British power and the doctrine of lapse policy. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. This is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlaghatta.